So today I want to talk about what do you do after you get a tax deed property, because a lot of times most of my students have no problem getting tax deeds after they've gone through the process and they've done their research, and I help them vet the process, the properties, and they're able to purchase them. They're like, what do I do next? So I'm going to just give you a few tidbits, without going too detailed in what you need to do about how to get rid of a property. The most simple and the most obvious way of getting rid of a property is listing it with a real estate agent. However, as you guys know, if you do list it with a realtor, I'm one, only in California and Texas, but I'm not active in neither place. You do have to pay a commission. So you do want to include that in your cost. For land, though, some agents are willing to do a flat fee because, land doesn't require as much work as a property. Particularly, I personally like, doing land and charging a flat fee. Because really, honestly, you're selling dirt. I mean, you don't do an open house. You don't need an appraiser. If you haven't watched my video, I'm quite sure I have a video on some of I think it's 3 or 4 things you should know about land before buying it so that it can be easily sellable. You should look at that video. But if you are trying to get rid of a tax deed property, the number one, the simplest, the most obvious way is to hire a realtor. Now, I've had some students that hired a realtor, and because I'm a realtor, I could tell right away if they don't really know what they're doing. There's all type of real estate agents. You don't have to have any formal education. You just have to take a test. So some of them are just strictly for the commission. They don't do any work. They just list it. So if I were you and you do choose the number one most obvious choice to hire a realtor, it's important to vet them, especially if for example, you're going to buy land. You want to know, have they sold land? Do they know anything about mineral rights or zoning? You want to kind of get an idea or a clue of what they have listed before and how well their background is. That's number one. Number two, which is up and coming, which I think is a good way. I did get a lot of I want to say looky-loos when I did list it on Zillow, because you can list it on Zillow, which is completely free, and you also can list it on Redfin. But it's not the same. I how can I say this? It's almost like it's advertisement, but it doesn't end up to a sale. Just put it that way. The second thing is that there are a lot of Facebook groups, which I also often find that there's a lot of looky-loos that way. There are also REI groups that you can go to, that you can list. Before COVID hit, I used to take all my little properties up to this investment community, and it was just amazing how people were trying to will and deal deals. So I really like that, but now that seems to have gone away. But they still have what do they call that? What is that? Darn it! I just lost my train of thought. They're groups, and dang it, I can't think of it. Sorry, but it's an app, and they're different real estate groups, and you could kind of join them. It's almost like Facebook, but it's an app. I can't think of it to save my life at this moment. Sorry, guys. That's one way, but I can't think of it. You also can list it on Facebook. You can also list it on Craigslist. I know Bigger Pockets have a community. One of the things that I'm learning and I'm noticing that I'm practicing, you guys, so I haven't actually tried this strategy, is when you go and you make comments on even YouTube videos, and people come, and you can also, if you have a YouTube channel, or you can make a YouTube video and you actually post the video of the lot or the property in different Facebook groups. That really works. For me, I always have a list of investors, which is the last but not least of what I would want you to know about before you even buy a tax deed, so you could get rid of it. In order to get rid of a tax deed property rather quickly, which I teach all my students, is to build your list prior to purchasing it. So before you even think about buying something, if wholesaling is your strategy, or if you're trying to even fix and flip, well, fix and flip, you more so want to just have a realtor list it. It's so much easier. But if you are looking for quick investment strategies, and I mean like 90 to 120 days, you're trying to flip your money, the best advice that I can give you is basically fine-tuning what you're going to buy, and then what I call pre-sell what you think you might get. So for example, I used to do this back in the day. I learned this from one of my educational classes, is that, and it works very well. You can also do it on Google Voice, which I don't even know if Craigslist offer, you have to pay for the ads, but back in the day, you could put an ad on Craigslist, and you could do like 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and then you just give your Google Voice number and you say please text or whatever, and then people would text you. So now you have like a list of potential investors, or you can say email you, and so now you have an email of potential investors for, like, let's just say a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet. That's one strategy. Also too, oh my God, information, this internet age is so much easier, because there are so many Facebook groups that actually have stuff where you can put it. Like, honestly, like I haven't been really active on Facebook. I've been more active on YouTube, but Facebook has tons and tons and tons of communities where people are even selling their tax deeds. So I don't do that on my community, more so, which I'm gonna work on, you guys. Sorry if you guys are part of my Facebook group. What I probably more likely will be doing is more updates on different type of sales and what's at the sales. But in my group, I'm not really soliciting stuff. I'm more so just kind of like trying to tell you a little bit information, more stuff about the market. But there are a lot of groups that people are in there trying to offload their tax deeds. So if you are one of those people that you really don't have time to like buy, and you just want to buy a piece of land or something like that, people are selling land all the time. The only thing that I would suggest, if you're doing that and you want to go an easier route, sometimes it isn't always easy, but it can be easy if you have the right knowledge and you know the right questions to ask. You can find good deals there, because quite frankly, sometimes people buy stuff just because it's cheap, but they don't know what to do with it. I always get people on Instagram that's asking me, okay, well, I bought this, what do I do with it? And I'm like, you didn't think about that before you bought it? That's why you need a coach. So you don't really need a coach, but you do need somebody to advise you. You just don't want to buy stuff without knowing your exit strategy. That's one of the number one lessons that I learned in real estate investing as a whole. You got to have a plan A, you got a plan B. So like, if you can't wholesale that mug, like, what is your plan B? You know what I mean? So you have to have an exit strategy if you're going to invest in anything, whether it's buying and holding. How many years are you planning on buying and holding? If you're gonna fix and flip it, what's your term and time between that? If you're wholesaling it, like, at what level are you gonna wholesale? So there's so many different things that go into investing prior to buying. So I try to teach my students, and on this channel, if anything, number one, do your due diligence, but number two, have a clear mindset of what you're going to do with that property before ever purchasing it. I think that is the best way, and one of the most successful ways that my students have been able to accomplish their goal is me helping them get clear on what their end result will be. And even if their end result isn't their plan A, they have a plan B, so they're happy either way. So this whole video was about how to get rid of your tax deed property, or how to sell it. You got to have your exit strategy, but most importantly, if you don't get anything from this video, have a list of potential investors or buyers that may be interested in the properties that you're going to buy at the tax deed auction. I'm going to conclude this video. Happy investing. Please like and subscribe. Make comments if you think this video was helpful. Happy investing, guys.